I had a lot of you asking me, Jay, aren't you going to talk about Gotham Knights FanDome happened? You talked about everything. You talked about the Black Adam. You talked about Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. You were even talking about the Batman. What about Gotham Knights? Whatever happened to that? Well, today I do want to talk about something with Gotham Knights. It is worth giving a small disclaimer. This is all my opinion based off of things that have been said. I do know that Slickmoth put up a video about this as well, and so did Podcast Now. I think he might have even been the first one to get to it. I linked his video over on my Twitter because I really enjoyed it. I do not think that Batman is dead in this game. I really don't. Now, if he turns out to be dead, I gotta be honest with you, I don't really care that much, and it's only because this is just its own thing, right? They've already established this is its own new universe. This is, if there are continuations of this is the start. This is not Arkham, this is not DC AU, DC AMU, DC EU, comics, nothing. This is just its universe. So if he is dead, and it turns out that that's the case when the game comes out, it's not like a, whoa man, what an own, Jay's going to be crying. It's just kind of like, well, all right. But I don't think he is. And here's why. There are a lot of different reasons why. And the first one is just the marketing of this game. This is something that Alex pointed out in his own video. And it is that this company, WB Games and the Gotham Knights social media, they've been all around in terms of up and down with their activity. Sometimes they're active, sometimes they're silent for months. I personally chalk it up to the whole pandemic and everything where just things halted for a long time, right? Now, would I have probably wanted somebody to keep saying something at some point? Yeah, but I'm not in charge, I think that's kind of what happened. But with their marketing, one thing they've been really driving it off of is Batman is dead. Now, they keep bringing it up. It's something that they mentioned even when asked straight up in interviews. They were like, no, he is dead. But the thing with Gotham Knights that's hilarious is on October 15th, they actually tweeted about this, and they said the Bat is as blind as he is dead. Now, here's the problem with this. Either WB Games or whoever is doing their marketing knows nothing about animals, which is extremely possible, or they just confirmed that Batman will be alive, at least by the end of the game, because bats are not blind. This is actually a huge misconception. And believe it or not, it's common knowledge that they're not blind. I know, we have Batman Forever, you're as blind as a bat, and all that stuff, but it's not really a true statement. Bats do have ultra-sensitive vision in terms of seeing at night, and they do have some different types of vision in the day that are very different, but they're not blind. This is not what they are. So to say that the Bat is as dead as he is blind, well, if he's not blind, if bats aren't blind, then he wouldn't be dead, right? I mean, that right there is just a pretty much Telltale giveaway. Telltale, bring back season 3 of Batman. But other than that, if you look at the marketing around this game, they keep showing Batman-centered imagery. And yes, I know it is a Batman-centered universe, but even the fact that their promotional image shows the shadow of Batman underneath the entire Bat family. This was something I pointed out on Twitter when people were saying, well, this is proof that he's alive. This is actually a literary device. This is something that is used often in marketing or in literature to kind of show characters standing in the shadow of someone else or taking on that mantle or whatever. This is a imagery technique that has been around for years. However, when in conjunction with the whole as dead as he is blind, it really kind of starts to pile on the evidence of more Batman references. You also do have the fact, by the way, that this is its own universe, right? Now, I cannot think of, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure there is something. I cannot think of a superhero project that, at least in gaming, has tried to just be connected to nothing at all in the last handful of years. Since the MCU came around, and it didn't pioneer connected universes, but I would say popularized it, the idea is really compounded by the sequel mindset in Hollywood and in gaming. And those two ideas together mean one of two things generally. They either mean that when you create something, you probably want to leave room for a sequel, or when you create something, and this is especially true with superheroes, you want to leave room for more connected projects, even if they're not sequels. We can see that as well. Some of the most popular superhero games, the Batman Arkham games, there were always room for sequels. And then with Rocksteady now also, there's now room for the connected Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. With Insomniac's Spider-Man, there's always room for more Spider-Man connected games. And there is the possibility of that Wolverine game, also being connected to Spider-Man. They have always kind of left the door open in the modern superhero game sphere so that there can be more. Now tell me this, if you are selling a game, you're selling a Batman-centered game, I guess a lot of the marketing is around Batman being dead, right? That's where you're picking up. If you are leaving room for a sequel, or you are leaving room for, any kind of potential connected project in the future, what are you not going to do? Well, you're probably not going to start your universe off by killing the most popular character that you could market off of and then leaving him permanently dead. Because what would happen after this game? This is not the Arkhamverse, right? They've made that clear. Let's say that you move on from Gotham Knights. What are you going to do? Are you going to do a Red Hood game? That's cool. I'd buy it. How many other people would? Are you going to do a Batgirl game? That's cool. I'd buy it. How many other people would? You can see this even in the response to this game. Yes, there are a lot of us that are very interested in the Bat family and like them, but they have a piece of glue that ties them all together, and that is Batman. That's the core and the heart for where those characters came from. If you just get rid of Batman and you try and spin off of that with no established universe, nothing. You're not picking up after Arkham Knight. You're not picking up after a movie or a comic or anything. You very likely don't want to do that permanently if you're going to bring this back. Now, if Gotham Knights is a one-off, which would be very weird, it is possible that they don't care to build any sort of universe off of this. Sure, I could see that. But I don't really see that happening. There's a lot of different things here together that kind of point at Batman being alive to me, from the marketing, from their statement about blindness, from where you would take potential future games, and even finally worth mentioning, Scott Snyder's involvement. Yes, I know the Court of Owls, that's probably why he's involved or why he was consulted originally, but it's worth noting that they did talk about at FanDome with, I believe, Greg Capullo was in the panel, Jim Lee was in the panel. They talked about how the bat is a natural prey for a lot of owls. The owl is a predator to a bat. Why do you keep bringing up bats? This whole thing isn't about Batgirl, right? I mean, why do you keep bringing up this dynamic? If he's already dead, who cares, right? He's just dead. It doesn't matter. You'd move on to talking in the marketing about the relationship between the Bat family, or between Red Hood and the court, or between Nightwing and the court. These characters are not Bat-based, even though they are part of the Bat family. So that's interesting to note as well. And when they start talking about this dynamic of the hunter-hunted type thing, why are we getting into that? If this game opens with Batman's death, and that is a permanent staple, who cares about all those subtleties? Who cares about any of that? The focus would just be on the family. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons that I think that Batman is still alive in this universe, if it even ends up becoming a universe. Now, if he's not, at the end of the day, I got to be honest with you, not a big deal to me. I've gotten plenty of Batman games. Do I wish that this was something else sometimes? Yeah. I kind of do wish at times when talking about this game that this was, a Batman Beyond game. Or that this was that sequel to Origins, or that this was a Bat Family game picking up after Night. Things like that. But I'm very open to this game being good. I'm very open to it being interesting, and I want to like it. I love all the characters that are in it. I love Tim Drake, the Robin. I love Dick Grayson's Nightwing. I love Barbara Gordon's Batgirl, and I love Jason Todd's Red Hood. So to be able to play as those characters is really fun for me. I do at times wish this was something else, and I do at times really wish that there was more of a connection to something before, so that these were versions of the characters that could have been built up to, instead of just dropping us in on the Batman is now dead type thing, but it's a Batman we never got to know. We never met him as players. But You know, I guess I guess what I'm getting at is if he's actually dead, I think it's kind of lazy because we never got to know this Batman at all, so who even cares that he's dead? And if he's not dead, that would probably make a lot more sense narratively because WB is not stupid. They do not. I know some people are going to say, well, Origins is bad. I like Origins, okay? I think that game gets a really bad rap. I think they know what they're doing most of the time with writing stories. All right? And I don't think that they would start one with kind of a hack job, immediate death, and then try and build off of that. I don't know. This is just my thoughts. Maybe this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. I'm still excited for the game, like I said. And if I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong. You know what? Throw it in the bag. Arkham Legacy never happened either, and neither did Insurgency, so it's just one more. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Bees, be sure to peeve a like. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content. I appreciate you very much, and let me know what you're thinking down there. I do read the comments, and I appreciate you. Have a fantastic day. Oh yeah, description. Check it out. Secondary channel, Degenerate Plays. Play through a wide variety of games with you, hanging out with you. That channel is only around because I like to hang out with you, so please check it out. And as always, everyone, stay shway.